Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This article has to do with, that I'm going to discuss today, has to do with Russia, nuclear weapons and allegations that they might use them. Now the Russians come forth and they dismiss all these accusations and allegations, and they say that that's no need to use them in Ukraine war as of now, it seems like. As you probably know, I use this little expression, there's no smoke without a fire. So the same way would they say about the nuclear weapons now, no use, I'm not going to use it. Yesterday it was an article that I made a video on discussing what would be the damage caused by a minor nuclear war. But they don't mention Ukraine and Russia in the same sentence. They mention United States, Russia, other countries, but that was just the first step, and then gonna increase it to others. Our next step's gonna get to, will Russians use it in Ukraine's war? Here you have it. They asked the question without even being the prospect as of now. I haven't heard the Russians saying anything about, hey, if you don't back off, we're gonna drop a few bombs and you won't like it, of those kinds. They said, we have our protocol that you are very, very aware of. There is 4 scenarios under which we, Russia, will use nuclear weapons. And that's very clear, they're very clear stated. And as of now, the answer is self-evident, which means you don't have to ask, hey, are you gonna, is there a possibility? Hey, I direct you to, or I refer you to the 4 scenarios. Does this fall in any of those 4 categories? No, so bye-bye. But the Russians felt the need to disperse this kind of allegations, accusations. So this article comes from Reuters from August 16th, 2022. Russia says, and I'm quoting, no need to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. So that means there's no need, but it's always a little, little door over there that they can use it. Now there's no need. What about a want if there's no need? There's no need, but there's a want. Russia has no need to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine, its defense minister said on Tuesday, describing media speculation that Moscow might deploy nuclear or chemical weapons in the conflict as, quote-unquote, absolute lies. And I'm quoting, from a military point of view, there is no need to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine to achieve the set goals. The main purpose of Russian nuclear weapons is to deter a nuclear attack, end quote, Sergei Shoigu said during a speech at an international security conference in Moscow. And I'm quoting again. The media are spreading speculation about the alleged use of Russian tactical nuclear weapons in the course of the special military operation, or about the readiness to use chemical weapons. All these informational attacks are absolute lies, end quote. It doesn't mean that they don't think of it, or but this is what he said. Shoigu also alleged Ukraine military operations were being planned by the United States and Britain. There's no news, Shoigu. We knew that, but thank you very much for confirming that. By United States and NATO, and that NATO had increased its troop deployment in Eastern and Central Europe several times over. Well, that's where they got you in this, and you had to respond. There was no way Russia would not have responded, which it did, under the threat of NATO being at its borders. Then they said it numerous times. Polls of opinions also confirm that if NATO comes closer, Russia will respond militarily. They said it many times, and the guys continued to bravado. Because why? This is where they wanted Russia. Well, so it's very interesting. The Ukrainian military operations were being planned by the United States and Britain. I had no doubt about that. Referring to the New START treaty to control US and Russian nuclear arms, Shoigu said talks to extend the treaty were, quote-unquote, a two-way street, and the situation around it was difficult. And I'm quoting again, a difficult situation is also developing with regard to the treaty on the limited of strategic offensive arms. The agreement remains in force until 2026, end quote, Shoigu added. And I'm quoting again, on the Russian side, obligations are being fulfilled, the declared levels of carriers and where warheads are maintained within the established limits. Referring to that, of course, it has two ways. It can't be just us as the other one, and vice versa. It can't be just Americans unilaterally, decreasing or keeping their tactical nuclear weapons or whatever they have under control. It's both have to do it. If one doesn't abide by that, then the other one is not, legally binded to follow the agreement. And it says, on the Russian, I'm quoting again, on the Russian side, obligations are being fulfilled. The declared levels of carriers and warheads are maintained within the established limits. Well, that's what they say. I'm pretty sure the Americans are not saying that's true, and vice versa. And how you do that, you allow inspectors. And it used to be like that, but now with a new no communication, allegedly, supposedly, they will not be able to verify that. I think Blinken talked about this and said that they have to renew the START program again, or they'll extend it or something, and the Russians said, I don't know, we don't know yet. So he didn't get any response from the Russians yet. So no need to use nuclear weapons. What happens when Ukraine is, let's say, Crimea is, if, let's say, the Russians start losing and the Ukrainians are getting and occupying or getting in Ukraine, is that a national threat? Is that would that be considered a reason to use nuclear tactical weapons or not? Because you can bend the rule in order to fit your scenario and the circumstances however you want, and after all, you can always create a new rule, a new policy whenever you want, and you say, well, the current circumstances oblige us, make us come with another rule that would fit the current global situation, and boof, another one. I mean, laws as they go, and yeah, I mean the situation changes, so the policy has to be ready to meet those changes. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.